Hi, everybody. We are back for episode 2 of Love is Blind. I'm super excited. Instead of wine, I have a milkshake this time. So, let's get into it. Okay, so day 6, and they are gonna propose already. Or no, they're gonna meet because they're already proposed.
You just never know when you add in that physical element, how that might change things.
Okay, see, and this is the thing that makes me frustrated about this show, is they talk about growing your emotional connection into a physical one, and like they're talking about being nervous to see the other person's like physical self, and like if you really love someone, that shouldn't really matter that much. I would love to see what would happen if they had not, because I'm pretty sure they intentionally cast people who look like this, but like if they had cast people on the show who didn't fit like the conventional beauty standards, like if they had had a person who was plus size, or a person in a wheelchair, or a person who was blind, or you know, somebody with some kind of like physical change that, let's be honest, a lot of people usually see as a deficit, to see how that would have like fucked with this. Because like this just drives me bananas, where they talk about like, oh, I'm so nervous to see them. Like, why? I thought you loved them already. Like, I thought you were so in love. This man was made in a factory for you. Except that if he's fat, that's a deal breaker? Okay.
I'm like, oh my God, what if a piece of my hair is sticking up? I can't have bad breath. What if I'm sweating?
What if you're sweating? Sweating is part of the human condition. I'm sorry. What?
Anticipating the moment of getting to physically see him, and I'm a nervous wreck. But I'm ready.
Not that it's not valid. Like, I do want to address that really quick. That, like, the fear about another person judging you for your physical appearance, especially women, not that that's not valid, because women are consistently judged for our physical appearances, and so obviously that's a valid fear based on most people's lived experience. But again, like this whole silhouette thing, like I would love to have seen what would have happened if this silhouette had been of a plus size person and not, you know, her. Yeah, okay, great. They're very happy. The other thing too about this that really is curious to me is, again, how much like the power of suggestion plays into their decision-making process here, because people are, by nature, we love to be part of groups. It's like an evolutionary thing, it's a survival thing. We as people tend to want to put other people in boxes, and then also want to categorize ourselves within a certain community because it makes us feel safe. And so in this environment where everybody else, again, is talking about love and marriage and relationships and sex and all of this stuff all the time, I really wonder, again, what would have happened if the person on the other side of the screen looked very different than they were expecting, or had some kind of physical appearance that was like a deal breaker for them, whether that would actually factor into their decision or not, because people tend to suppress their own like intuition for the sake of feeling like they belong. And so again, makes me very doubtful about the actual connection of these people. Okay, so we've got Carlton and Diamond here, and he's gonna propose. It cracks me up too, because you can tell that everybody knows that they're gonna propose, because they all have on these like fancy pantsy outfits.
I have waited for this my whole life, and I can't waste any more time. Diamond?
Yes.
Will you be my wife?
Oh my God.
My dad passed away when I was a very young girl. I remember like going to the funeral, and I seen ladybugs everywhere I went. Today, I woke up and I literally seen a ladybug on the mirror. I really thought that was my dad talking to me.
See, again, this is the thing that is like confusing to me about this show. She's talking about the loss of her dad and how impactful that is for her. And then she says, you know, I really felt like that was my dad telling me that everything's going to be okay. But like, why do you need a spouse to make everything be okay? Like, maybe that's not how she meant it, but it comes off again with this like paradigm that marriage is of the utmost importance and is the end goal here. And again, I know it doesn't make for good TV to be like, let's just have people be in healthy, happy relationships and like maybe date for a while. But it's weird to me, like the shoehorning of marriage. Like, just stop it with that. Because like, you can, first of all, be a healthy, happy person without a relationship, period. But also, too, like, this makes me nervous because a lot of people, I think, view marriage as this kind of, like, Band-Aid thing that, like, it's going to make everything better. And, like, it's not. If you have things and issues and trauma that you need to work through, you're still going to need to work through it whether you're married or not. And so, like, a spouse is not a Band-Aid for your mental health or trauma or otherwise issues. And I don't mean to say this in a way to, like, dunk on Diamond, because, like, she really gets boned in this show, and so I feel for her. But again, like, yikes.
Don't cry.
Okay, yeah, too, with Carlton being like, don't cry. Like, bitch, no! People need to cry. If she wants to cry, you as a fiance now are supposed to be like, yes, bitch, you cry. You cry all you need to cry, and I'm here for you. Like, you cry all you want to cry, and I'm going to, like, maybe not pat your back because they're not in the same room, but, like, I'm here for that, you know? Like, welcoming and validating emotional expressions from your partner is an incredibly important part of having a healthy relationship. So, like, just FYI, hot tip, if your partner starts crying and you're uncomfortable, don't say, don't cry. Just say, how can I help? Or maybe don't say anything at all and just, like, you know, do back pat or, you know, literally anything other than, don't cry.
I'm never gonna break your heart.
Well, that didn't age well, did it, Carlton? I'm never gonna break your heart. Oops. Spoiler, sorry. Here we go. Let's watch Jessica self-implode, shall we?
Is it true that you still feel the same way you felt last night about me?
Oh, this is so hard to watch.
I don't know.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
She goes, wait, really?
Okay.
Yes, bitch, really.
I don't fuck with people like you.
What does that mean?
Like, I'm not playing this game with you.
I'm not trying to play games. I'm trying to feel everything out right now. I'm trying to be
Okay, well,
rational.
why did you, like, I don't know why you said everything you said to me then. What are you trying to figure out?
My freaking heart, man.
Your heart about what?
Okay, and, like, don't get me wrong, I don't, like, disagree. Like, Burnett's being such a fuckboy, and, like, really playing fast and loose with other people's emotions, which is a fucked up thing to do. But also, like, I really hate when men express genuine vulnerability, and he's like, I'm just trying to figure out my heart. And she goes, oh, your heart? Oh, my God. Like, fuck you, Jessica.
You told me last night that you were ready to, like, propose to me. That's insane. You literally said that last night.
I like you.
I'm not even entertaining this conversation. This is embarrassing.
Okay, and I feel like this is an important thing to address, because she goes, I'm not entertaining this conversation, this is embarrassing. And, like, yeah, sure, this is embarrassing to get rejected on national, yeah, I guess it's national TV. But also, like, again, being in a relationship with a person involves a certain amount of vulnerability. And so, like, we will fuck up, we will say things, we will share things that are uncomfortable, that make us embarrassed, that make us scared or fearful, or, you know, that, like, vulnerability is not really fun, but it is important, and it's a really transformative way for people to build real connection. And so, like, if you are entering into a relationship and, like Jessica's entering into this relationship experiment thing, with the expectation that she's not going to be embarrassed or get hurt or feel sad or feel any kind of negative emotion, like, that's not how it works. Like, relationships are not just an endless stream of butterflies and rainbows and excitement. Like, that's not that all relationships should be, like, filled with strife or anything, but, like, you will embarrass yourself, you will say things and feel sad and embarrassed and whatever.
I had visualized Burnett as someone I could spend the rest of my life with.
Okay, here we go.
Yesterday, I was thinking Mark, and Barnett came and distracted me with this game. So
Barnett
I
came
really
and
hope
distracted
that
me with this
I didn't
game.
mess it up with Mark. Like, he is just everything I've ever wanted and so much
Except
more.
that yesterday, he was not at all what you wanted. So, like, which is it, girlfriend?
What's up?
Look, he's so mad. Don't blame him. I would be fucking mad too.
I'm so sorry. I feel like such an asshole.
Yes.
I didn't know what was happening. I swear though, like, it was him. Like, I swear to God.
Woo, she says, I swear to God, it was him.
No,
Bitch, no, it wasn't.
Babe, I was so confused, you know? And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, it's cut off. Like, it is totally cut off. I'm not seeing him anymore.
Oh my God. This is a masterclass in how to not take responsibility for your own actions, because she has spent all of this time going, babe, it wasn't me, it was him, I swear, babe, it was him, it wasn't me, it was him, I swear. And like, no, it wasn't, first of all. But second of all, even if it was, like, we still need to take responsibility for the way that our actions impact other people. And so even if it really was Barnett's fault and he was like low-key manipulating you, like, you still behaved in a way that hurt another person, so you need to take responsibility for that. You don't get to just be like, oh, it wasn't my fault, sorry, goodbye.
And I could feel it. She was like, babe, she said babe like 1,000 times.
Yeah, see, even Mark was like, she said babe like 1,000 times. Yeah, because she's trying to manipulate you.
Something that is kind of like in the back of my head is that I self-sabotage all the time. But I realize that I do it when something that's too good to be true is happening to me, because my parents' divorce really fucked me up. I guess what I'm trying to say is this is something that I've always been afraid of.
Okay, so like, actually this is a really interesting exchange. Like, we actually have somebody finally being honest about like, yeah, I'm really afraid of this. And she talked about her tendency to self-sabotage and all of that stuff. That will become relevant later, I guess. But I mean, this is kind of refreshing, to be honest, because I feel like a lot of the time that people spend in the pods is spent fucking off, and like, we'll talk about this more as we get further into the series, but then they get to a point where they're actually together and then like trying to function as a partnership, and things come up where like they just never talked about it before, and it's just confusing to me how anybody could get to the point of proposing marriage and not have had a conversation about like fears or goals for your life, or your wants and needs in a relationship, like what your non-negotiables are physically and romantically and sexually and all of those things. Like, how did that not come up? So I think this is actually kind of nice.
I think I might be pregnant, and immediately he's in problem-solving mode. I don't have kids right now, so obviously I didn't follow through with the pregnancy, and it was the,
Hey,
it was
okay.
Barnett
You're
looks
okay.
so uncomfortable with this conversation. But also, again, like, this is really important. I'm glad that Amber brought this up, because like, this is a really big trauma that she went through, and so like, that'll do something to a person, you know? And like, that's something that's important to know if you're gonna be, I don't know, fucking permanently sealed to this person for the rest of your lives. So like, again, this is refreshing. I'm glad that she is talking about it.
It's really the hardest thing I've ever gone through in my life. This was supposed to be my other half, and his reaction, he goes, why don't you just get over it? You just need to get over it already, like, move on. That is the last thing in the world you want to hear. Like, I need to know if a situation like that comes up and an unexpected pregnancy happens, I won't be forced to choose. I can't survive that
See,
again.
and like, again, I'm glad that she's bringing this up, because not so much that like an unplanned pregnancy is something that comes up a lot, you know, but like, I think this is a really important thing to discuss, because being married, it's important that everybody's on the same page in terms of how to approach like traumatic events or really difficult life decisions. And so her disclosing this and talking about this was probably really scary and like a really vulnerable thing to do. But again, really important, because if you are weighing out your options to potentially marry a person, knowing how a person deals with conflict resolution and unplanned, difficult decisions, like, that's a really important factor. And so, like, again, I'm glad that she brought this up. He looks deeply uncomfortable with it, but also, like, fucking deal with it, Burnett. Okay, I guess we're just done talking about that now.
The first time in my life, I know what I want. I want her.
How, at this point, again, like, I don't know, I can't remember how old Damien is, but he says, this is the first time in my life that I know what I want. What? You didn't know what you wanted out of, like, a career, or your friendships, or your family relationships, or, like, your social life? Like, you had no idea what you wanted up until just now?
So, I want to tell you, I've been...
I'm trying to be nice. I find Damian's proposal just cringy as fuck, and honestly, I'm gonna skip through it, because with the box and the bow, he says, he puts a bow in his hand and he says, I don't give you a piece of me, I give you all of me. Like, yikes. Not my speed. Yeah, no, not for me. But also, again, good for him for owning his vulnerability and being emotional and, like, defying typically masculine expectations.
Giannina, lady, your belly. Before you, I get on one knee for the first time in my life, and I ask you to take this bow. I ask you, Will you marry me?
Okay. Also, too, why do the women on this show wait so long to say yes to a proposal? Like, say yes or no, but don't pace around your pod.
I wanted to tell you something.
Very dramatic music. Whatever. Yeah, that's the end of the episode because it's Netflix and because they hate us. Okay, so yeah, let's wrap up really quickly. This episode was kind of a whole lot of nothing, really. We got like a bunch of proposals and stuff, but like nothing really super exciting. Again, this show is just very like heteronormative, kind of misogynistic expectations about marriage and love and relationships. Way too much alcohol. Like, I'm not even like a shy person about alcohol, but like there's so much booze on this show. In other news that's a surprise to no one, Jessica sucks. Mark apparently has no self-worth or opinion or like feeling that he's worth being somebody's first choice as opposed to like a last resort. Yeah, Jessica and Mark's whole interaction really is like the perfect encapsulation of how desperate people become with this societal expectation that women are supposed to be married by a certain age. Because it's almost like she would settle for like marrying somebody's pet if it meant that she could get society's expectations of marriage off her back. Like, truly, I don't think she cares who the person is as long as she feels like part of the club, like part of the cool kids who got engaged. It's really just a rough thing to watch. But yeah, this show just continues to be really surprisingly problematic and also surprisingly entertaining. So yeah, if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video to help the channel grow and to help each other grow. And I will see you for the next one. Okay, bye.